Google are suspending businesses more than ever before, and people just don't know what to do about it. So in this video, I'm going to give you everything you need to fix this stressful situation. I'll also show you the top 13 reasons why businesses do get suspended, along with a way to get my special toolkit absolutely free downloaded at the end of this video. Because of course, if you can't get your business reinstated quickly, then you're going to be making a loss against your competitors, a loss of customers, and just a loss in the sense of you're not ranking any longer. I've helped hundreds of businesses overcome suspension, and I'm going to show you the proven method that I use that's helped them get ranking again. So coming up in this video, my step-by-step strategy in case you get suspended, what to do if you've already appealed and it's still been denied by Google, what to include if you need to do a video for your suspension, how to get my £10 suspension toolkit downloaded for free, and what to do to stay ahead of Google's algorithm. But first, suspensions are very stressful. If you've not had one before, then you're very lucky, because if you get one, they can cause all sorts of turmoil. I recently came across a doctor's surgery where they lost 35% of their rankings and inquiries overnight because of a suspension. And again, I came across this retailer who, as you can see, as soon as he was suspended, his ranking fell dramatically. And I've often heard people really say the frustration they get is that Google doesn't do anything for them. Google doesn't even respond to a lot of their questions. They're not particularly helpful. And this often leads to urgency, desperation, and just not knowing what to do. And so panicking and often making even more mistakes. So I fully understand what's involved. And that's why the very first step is to just stay calm and then submit an appeal. Because remember, most of the suspensions are not caused by Google with a person. They're caused by AI just being trigger happy, thinking things should be suspended when it's not. So it's important to understand what the things are that these robots are finding that causes these triggers. And there's 13 things you need to be aware of. So here are the 13. So you want to avoid keyword stuffing in your business name. Having a virtual address when it's not a real address, so things like UPS boxes and so on. Having incorrect business hours that aren't true to your business. Having a frequent change of business details, so things like your phone number, your address, or your business name. Being in high scrutinized industries. Now this seems unfair, but Google is particularly aiming at things like plumbers, locksmiths, and lawyers. When you have an overlapping of services, so you have two business listings, and in effect Google considers it's the same business. Operating as an online business without an in-person service. Having duplicate listings, which I've come across on more than one occasion. Website security in general. So if Google thinks that there's perhaps malware or a hacked site involved, it will then cause a suspension there. Having a Google account with a bad history. Using the same phone number across multiple locations. Paying for incentivizing reviews, which again is against Google's policy. And finally, breaking the terms of Google products. So it might not just be with Google business profiles, but it could be AdWords, it could be local service ads too. Okay, so those are the things that could cause your issues. All you need to do is appeal. So if you're clear that you haven't got any of those issues, then go to Google's official appeal form. So I'll put a link down below in this video. But when you go there, you can just fill out, make an appeal, and you can go back there to see how the moderation's coming along, whether they've made a decision, whether your appeal has been looked at, and you can just check the status on your appeal. Now, if your appeal is denied, then it brings us on to step 2. So it's important to know what you do next. So if your first reinstatement was denied, you can request a second one. But on this occasion, you need to make sure that you do prepare well. So what does that mean? Well, you need to gather all the documents and make sure you've got them on hand. Because the problem is you're not going to get chance after chance after chance. So if you didn't get it right the first time, make sure you've got absolutely everything beforehand. Understand that Google also gives you pretty much one more shot at it. If you get that wrong, it feels like you've got no chance at all. Now, having said that, there is another way, which I'll come on to a bit later. But at the moment, you need to get these things right if you can. Now, Google will tell you that if you get this one wrong, you can't appeal again. So you don't want to submit a weak appeal, you want to make this one really strong. And it may require they want a video verification too. Now for a video verification, I did a video on that, which I'll give you a link to a bit later in this video. So at this point you go through to the appeal link and they'll then ask you to fill out certain things about it, fill that out, send it off, and then hopefully that will be then sorted for you. But step 3, what happens if you're still suspended, if they haven't then taken that second appeal? Well, in most cases, they'll tell you that's it, but it's not. What I would say is, first of all, go through your emails from them, make sure you read everything, see if there's any clues, see if they're telling you there's something you're missing, and make sure that whatever that is, you address it first. And then go beyond everything as well, because you may feel that you can get away with something, but just go through your whole process, go through everything. Make sure those 13 things I mentioned earlier have been addressed, and then just do everything you can to make sure there's nothing outstanding. Because if you miss anything, it can get very, very frustrating, and Google doesn't give you too many clues. Now, what happens if you still don't get anywhere? Well, you can escalate this, and the way I'd escalate it is to go to the support forum. So again, I'll put a link down below for that. Google's support forum has experts there. Now, if you provide them with all the information you've done, if you show the effort you've put in, there's a chance that someone will adopt it and they'll try and look at it for you. And they have the opportunity or the ability to know a little bit more about how they can make it work for you and get you back in place. If they believe, these are real humans, if they believe that you have a real case. But I mentioned earlier that you can also prepare for the video verification, and that can sometimes be a much easier way of getting your suspension sorted. Of course, in the past, Google accepted postcards and SMS and so on, but now video verification can be quite challenging and again, very stressful if you have to do one. But most video verifications fail because they haven't prepared exactly what's needed for Google. Now, if you don't know what's needed for that verification, then head over to this video where I'm going to show you exactly what's needed so that you can then follow that process. And before I forget, that suspension toolkit that I normally charge for, I've put a free link for you. Head to it down below in this video. And then when you head on to that, you'll be able to get that directly to your inbox and it'll be free of charge.